What's up, tribe? How you guys doing this evening? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 6. So we start the episode off. The family, Bishop and May, have told the family that they're getting a divorce. They don't show that scene, but they let you know what happened. And May is bringing Bishop the statement they're going to read to the congregation. She's changed it up, whatever. And at this point, Bishop is like, you know what, whatever. I'm not fighting with you no more. If this is what you decide you want it, then it is what it is. Because whatever changes she made, he was just like, all right, whatever. He was like, it's always funny to me how you can, basically, I can't think of his exact words, but basically he was like, you always know how to turn shit around and make yourself to look like, play your role and make everything up so rosy and sweet. And, she was like, well, what do you mean? He said, but I noticed in this announcement you don't say anything about leaving. And so she starts going off on her tangent again about how this is just a stupid tradition that the woman has to leave. Why can't I just stay on at the church? Why can't we continue to run the church together? You do your thing and I do my thing. Like, I don't understand the problem with all of that. And Bishop was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. He was like, that's not going to happen. And so finally Bishop says, he said, I tell you what. He said, look, you can have the house. I'll take care of the tax debt if you just go. Or was it that conversation? I might be getting ahead of myself, but either way, he said it. I might be getting a little ahead of myself. He may have said that later on in the episode, but anyway. And she was like, so you going to pay the tax debt? How you going to do that? He said, don't you worry about how that's going to happen. Just, are you cool? He was like, you just leave the church without no problems. You got the house. Don't have to worry about the debt. She said, can I stay on until Lady Day? Basically it's Women's Day. It's her version of Women's Day. Every black church got a Women's Day. It's basically her Women's Day where she's going, the day with Lady May, I think is what it's called, or something to that effect. You've seen it in past episodes. You saw it happen. That first episode when Gigi came back, you saw it happen. And she agrees, but she agreed a little too easy, right? So then we see Zora and Sophia. Sophia's home from the hospital. She's in bed. And pretty much what I thought was going to happen is what happened. Or what I said was going to happen, or I was worried about happening is what happened. You see Zora come in. First of all, Zora, your bitch ass gave some old half-ass damn apology. Talking about some, I forgive you. Grace was like, Sophia was like, forgive me. What you got to forgive me for? And, Sophia was like, did grandma make you come in here? Like, basically, are you here because you want that you, like, do you really feel like you owe me an apology? Or are you just here because somebody told you to come in here and be nice to me? And she was like, so what? I still wanted to, check on you and see how you were doing. She was like, I'm sorry I didn't believe you when you said you were sick. She was like, the last thing you said to me was something about me having children. And now I can't have any. And she was like, I'm sorry. I know, but I'm sorry. And she was like, whatever, Zora, get the fuck. Like, she didn't curse, but she basically told her to get the hell out. And Zora had the nerve to have an attitude about it. Like, after you've been treating her like shit for the last couple of weeks, now all of a sudden now your feelings are hurt? Bitch, please. But in the interim, Grace made a couple of comments. Sophia made a couple of comments about God and why God would do this to her and why he did this to her or whatever. So it's time to go to church. And Gigi heard this whole thing go down. And she went to go check on the baby girl. And baby girl basically told her she wasn't going to church. She wasn't going to do the little, what they call her little angels or whatever her little crew is that she ministers to. And she was like, I just can't process why God would let this happen to me, And Gigi tried to, she's basically letting her process, but she tried to tell her, God didn't, this wasn't God, things happen, unfortunately this is how life, it just is what it is, in a nice way. Now, the flip side, on the other side of the house, that damn Charity is a fucking junkie. She's a junkie. She done laid out on the bed, the baby crying at the top of his lungs, and she ain't even stirring. She don't even wake up. Had it not been for the maid hearing the baby cry, that baby would be sitting there crying his ass off. Chastity ain't heard a damn thing. She ain't moved. Charity, Chastity, whatever the child name is. She ain't moved. Lady May comes in there and want to know what the hell is wrong with you. She said, what did you take? She said, Mama, all I took was a sleeping pill. She said, what the fuck? She said, I couldn't sleep, so I took a sleeping pill. She said, what did you take that you can't even hear your own baby crying? So she had the maid take the baby out because the maid was like, I was in the laundry room with the dryer running. Like, bitch, I heard the baby all the way down the hall with the dryer running. How you ain't hear him? I said, oh, here we go. So, yeah, why my brain keep going out on me? So, she tells Chastity to get her shit together. Chastity tells her she just need to lay down for a little while and she be alright in a few minutes. Chastity, come to find out, Chastity ass ain't get up. The nurse, the maid done called back over to the church to talk to Lady May. Let Lady May know Chastity still ain't up. Lady May said cut the damn electricity off in her suite. She said desperate times call for desperate measures. Now, I don't know what she thought was going to happen by the electricity going off. If she sleep, she could care less. But we'll see. So, everybody's over at the church now. Now, Rick Fox done called over to Gigi. He said, you know, has your legal defense fund got up and running yet? She said, no, what's going on? They have a case. A woman killed her husband. She says it was in self-defense. She said he was abusive, and she killed him with a hammer in self-defense. And so, you know, she tells him meet her up at the church, and you know they'll figure something out. Bishop is up at the church, and here comes Miss Cross. And Miss Cross is playing. She plays the fuck out this role. Latoya Luckett, you playing the hell out of this role, okay? You are doing the dumb thing. And she said, you know, you 1 minute I'm in, 1 minute I'm out. 1 minute you like me, 1 minute you hate me. Like, I just don't know how to. I don't know how to play this game with you, Bishop. Now you need my money, you need my help. Now everything is all good, Bishop. But she's talking to Bishop about some cryptocurrency and how this is, you know, she's showing him all these stats and figures about how this is how people have made so much money and how this is where he need to get on board. And so, of course, he's intrigued because, you know, he need to make a lot of money real quick. So he's intrigued by the whole cryptocurrency piece or whatever. And so while all this is going on, the church is just the buzz. The church is just the buzz. Well, guess who's coming to visit? Miss Maxine, what's her last name, y'all? Patti LaBelle. Now, let me say this. That goddamn bob that Patti LaBelle had, hunty, was bad. That's what I'm trying to grow my hair out to now. I'm trying to grow my hair out into a bob. See, this is what had happened to my hair. My hair is usually long. I cut my hair. I was trying to cut my hair into a bob. The person that I had cut into a bob fucked it up. I'm just going to be real about it. They fucked my hair up. But then my hair was like so uneven and so messed up that I had to sort of cut it so it can start back at a certain point. So that's why I cut it so short, because I normally don't rock short hair. I don't know what to do with short hair. Y'all can tell my hair be on some other stuff sometime. But I'm trying to grow it out because I want a bob. Like I had in high school. Like I want a bob. And that Patti LaBelle hair is damn near what I want. And that hair, her hair looked flawless. Do you hear me? That wig or weave, whatever it was, that hunty, that thing was beautiful. Beautiful. But anyway, so of course the church is all abuzz because Miss Maxine done showed up. And everybody, you know, because she's like a celebrity. That's like if T.D. Jakes was coming up in the house or, you know. Y'all know where I'm getting at. I ain't going to name a bunch of names because I'm going to say the wrong names. And people going to be like, why you say that name? Or why didn't you say this name? But you know what I'm talking about. And come to find out, Lady May done invited her to come speak at her Day with Lady May event. And y'all know they scheming on getting that church from the bishop. So, of course, she's coming down to help her, you know, do whatever she can to get that, to help her be in a good position to get the church from bishop. But, then she starts talking to her about Charity. And she tells her what's going on with Charity, with her taking the pills and everything. And Patti LaBelle said, look, I got a doctor. I got somebody that can help her out. And Lady May says, well, is the doctor discreet? She said, no, she's not, but that's why she's good. I said, oh, okay. I wasn't quite sure what she meant until I saw who showed up. We're going to get there in a second. So, back over to Miss Cross. Now, she done went from the bishop because she saw her come in. She said, Bishop, what's this about? You know, and she said, Maxine, I keep wanting to say Maxine Shaw from Living Single. I know it's not Maxine Shaw. But she's with the bishop when she sees her come in, and she's like, well, what is Lady May up to? And Bishop was like, I don't even know. But he knows she up to something. He knows some shit going on. And Patty walks up to Bishop and, hey, Bishop, how you doing? It's been so long. And she's giving him a hug, and she's all like, hey, yeah, okay, it's cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she said, did Lady May tell you that I was coming to her Lady Day event? And he said, no, she did not. And it's starting to click now. He like, okay, all right, I see where this is going. Like, I'm kind of feeling where this is going. So then we see Cross is over with Gigi and Rick Fox. And they're talking about this case with this woman. She killed her husband. She killed him with a hammer. But come to find out, he was abusive to her, or she was alleging that he was abusive to her. And come to find out, that's how he would beat her. He would beat her with a hammer. And so they're talking about that. And she starts flirting with Rick Fox. Starts talking about something. Is that a custom-made shirt? And Rick Fox was like, no, like, I bought it off the rack. She said, I deal with my clients who could care less about fashion. And I tell them all the time that they just, that the trick is and how it fits you around the neck. And that shirt just fits you beautifully. Like, she is laying it on thick. And I thought back to what Random TV Review said, shout out, that they think it's something going on between, because Rick Fox was looking at her like he was very uncomfortable. But at the same time, this what I've read into it. It could be one or the other. Either she really doesn't know him and she's just flirting, or they do have a little something going on and she's trolling Gigi by flirting with him in front of Gigi, like, I'm really fucking your man on the DL, you don't know about it, and I'm just gonna flirt with him in your face. I'm gonna play this game with you. But Gigi ain't stupid. Gigi said she's playing with me. She said she's playing games. I know what she's doing. Because Rick Fox was like, are you jealous? She was like, yeah, nah, she playing games. She knows exactly what she's doing. So Gigi hip to it. I don't think Gigi done figured it all out, obviously, but she hip to the fact that Cross is playing games, Well, in the meantime and in between time, Zora asked and snuck into the maid's purse and tried to use her cell phone to make a phone call. And got caught. And the maid called Lady May as soon as she got a chance. She called Lady May. Lady May comes home and says, so what's up? What's going on with the phone call? You know the rules. You don't call nobody. You don't use no cell phones, no computers, no TV, no nothing. What's the problem? And she was like, I hate it here. She was like, that's cool. That must be him doing something right. That's cool. She said, you don't love me or something like that. Lady May said, no, you don't love yourself. She said, because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't be around here chasing behind a boy that hurts you. I said, you better tell her, Lady May. So, of course, Lady May took the phone, told her told her that she was punished even more than she already was, and to roll out. And, of course, Zora is, she's pissed off about it. I said, they're not going to be happy till that girl disappears and they don't hear from her for 30 years like Gigi did. And I'm not saying she right by any stretch of the imagination. I ain't saying she right. I'm just saying, y'all know how teenagers are. The more you push, the more they pull. And before you know it, and I think that's exactly what's about to happen. But I'm going to get there. So, then she goes over to Chastity's suite. She opened up the door. Chastity drinking a glass of wine. She said, Mama, the baby sleep, whatever. Like, don't even say nothing to me about having this wine in my hand. Guess who the doctor is that done shown up to help Chastity? Chastity, whatever that child name is. Dr. Van Zant. Ayanla Van Zant. And she's going by Dr. Van Zant on the show. And I think she is a doctor. I don't know if it's honorary or earned, but I think she is a doctor. But don't quote me on that one, y'all. And, she coming in to fix Chastity's life. That's the friend that Maxine done pulled in to come and help Charity. And she talks to her. And, of course, at first, Charity giving her attitude and doing the same thing that people always do when they basically are forced into therapy. They don't really want to talk. They don't really want to open up. But then eventually she does start to open up. And she said, I grew up not feeling safe. She said, nobody worries about me. Nobody cares about me. And Ayanna was like, well, why you feel that way? And she was like, it's always been that way since I was a child. She said, I've never felt safe. And let me tell y'all something. I said this 3 episodes ago when when ain't nobody realized that Charity ass wasn't at the house, that she was over at the Four Seasons with the baby in a whole nother state. Ain't nobody realized that she wasn't on tour no more and that she wasn't home. And the only person that was worried about where Charity ass was Kevin. And the only reason why Kevin was worried about where her ass was because she had the baby. Had she left that baby right there, Kevin wouldn't be looking for her. So she right. Don't nobody be thinking about Charity ass. Don't nobody care. And nobody be thinking about her. She was the forgotten child. You had Gigi was the chosen one. Faith was the tragic one. Then you had the boy who gonna always be different, special. Jacob was the boy. And Charity just sort of fell to the side. And she's right. I feel for her, but she right. She right. So anyway, but she finally opened up. Ayanna laid her on them boobs. You know, she good for putting somebody on her boobs and hugging them while they cry, honey. So it was a true to form Ayanna moment. She opened up. Then we see Sophia with her boyfriend. This little scene broke my heart. The little boyfriend, he was so sweet. He showed up with the stuffed animal and everything to check on her. And he said all the right things. He said, you know, that it didn't matter if they weren't going to be able to have children naturally. That she, you know, that and he started quoting women from the Bible who were barren, but they ended up having children. Like he was saying all the right things. Honey, Sophia heard barren. She said, excuse me? She said, what'd you call me? He said, barren? She said, I'm not barren, I'm sterile. He said, that's the same thing. No, it's not. And she starts going off on him about, you know, he don't understand and God this and God. So she starts going off on him. He says, I'm going to come back tomorrow. Because y'all know that's how men deal. When we get hysterical, then men be like, I'm just going to come back tomorrow. Maybe you'll be feeling better. She said, I'm not going to be feeling better tomorrow. So he ends up leaving. And I felt bad because, you know, she pretty much broke up with the baby. And I feel bad for him because he was trying to be a good guy. You know what I mean? And they're both young. And she's processing the best way she knows how to process. So it's sad. But it is what it is, you know. But she's doing exactly what I thought she was going to do. She's hating God. She's blaming God. And she's lost her faith. And she doesn't want to be reminded of it. She doesn't want to be talked to about it. You know, people are coming at her biblically because that's how she was. And they're spiritual. You know, these are people that are in the church. So they're going to look at it from a biblical point. But she ain't trying to hear none of that. Because that's just not where she is right now. You know, and I believe she'll come back around, but a lot of people, when they deal with tragedy, they do one or two things. Either they run to God or they run away from God. If you believe in God. Like, if that's your base to begin with. Like, if that ain't your base to begin with, then of course, you know. But either you go to God or you run away from God, you know. So, then we see Miss Zora. Zora on that shit again. Zora goes into her grandmother's room and says, may I call my mommy, please? And Lady Mae was like, of course you can call your mother. Like, I ain't gonna never tell you can't call your mother. So she gets her mother on the phone. She says, Mommy, I want to come home. I don't want to be here anymore. And of course, that's what old girl was waiting to hear anyway. And she said, well, what's going on? She said, nothing. I mean, you told me if I wanted to come home, I could come home. I just miss you guys so much. Y'all know Zora playing that game. So, of course, she said, well, let me talk to your dad. I'll call, I'll check with your dad and let you know. So, she puts the phone down. She's like, thank you, Mommy. And she puts the phone down, and she kind of gives Lady Mae a look like, who you think you fucking with, right? And she walks out the room. I'm like, bitch, you don't even know who you playing with. You don't even know who you playing with. Lady Mae is not the one. So then we see Lady Mae goes and talks to Bishop. And she's like, so tomorrow is the day. And, whatever and whatever. And she said, yeah, tomorrow's the day. She said, the doctor wants to speak with us in the morning with Chastity, with Charity. Why I can't never say that child name right. She said, unless you're too busy. He said, never too busy. He said, I'll be there. And she says, okay. So Bishop done messed around and told Lady Mae, he said, look, when we get done reading that statement tomorrow in front of the church, go ahead and say your farewells. Because that's going to be the last opportunity you'll get. Because, he and his feelings about this whole Maxine situation, because he know it's a plot. He not stupid. He know they up to something, and he was like, yeah, I'm about to limit the opportunity for you to play some games with me. So the next morning, they meeting with Ayanla, and Charity is trying to explain to them how she felt growing up, that she felt afraid. And the Lady Mae talking about something. Afraid of what? And she said, I don't know, but I just always felt afraid. I mean, I knew that Gigi and Faith were afraid, and that made me afraid. And she was like, well, I don't know. I didn't know anything about this. I assure you I didn't know anything about this. And Ayanla was like, look, she is not accusing you of doing anything. She's just telling you how she felt. Let her talk. So, of course, she's talking, and every time she get to talking, Lady Mae cutting her off, talking about something. Well, I don't understand what the problem is. She said, I just can't spend my whole life apologizing. She said, I don't know, you ain't had nothing to be afraid of. What you going to be afraid of? You were taken care of. You were protected, And Lady Mae is being Lady Mae. She's going off and making it about her and making it seem like that they're attacking her and her parenting. And Ayanla told her, that's not what we're doing here. I'm not attacking you. I'm not making this about you. I'm telling you how I felt. I'm telling you what my experience was and why I feel the way I feel. And basically, Lady Mae told her, pull your ass up by your bootstraps and get your shit together, because you ain't got nothing to be hanging your head low about. I said, damn, Lady Mae cold. She cold as shit. I'm sorry, y'all. So then she tells her, she said, I had to deal with what happened to me as a child, and Faith had to deal with what happened to her as a child, and we all make our own decisions. She said, I'm sorry that you were afraid, but we are all afraid. This world is a scary place. She said, and that's why you have to have faith. And if you don't have faith, you pray for faith. And if you can't do that, then you pray about that. She said, but don't you come at me. Don't make this about me. She said, what she say? She said, don't come at me. She said, if you got a problem, something about go to Jesus, because it ain't me, or something like that. But she told her off. I said, damn, you cold. This girl she's not accusing you of being a bad mother. She's telling you that in a house full of a lot of issues and a lot of secrets and a lot of shit that was kicked under the rug, it affected me even when y'all thought it wasn't affecting me. Honey, May laid her ass out. May laid her ass out, honey. And got up and said, thank you, Dr. Van Zant, and walked out the door. And remember I told you I spoke too soon before. That is when the bishop went to her and went to Lady Mae and said, look, you can have the house. I'll take care of the debt. Just leave me to church. Like, I'm done. I think, you know how you hear that nail hit that coffin? I think that might have been it for him at that moment. I think he was just done. So then we cut to the church, and they're having their service. Charity is singing her little ass off, honey. She's singing that song. And, of course, when the song is over, the bishop and Lady Mae go up to the podium, and that's when they announce to the congregation that they're leaving, and everybody's crying. Grace is crying. Charity's crying, or Chastity, whatever the child name is. And while all this is going on, little Miss Zora done snuck off, and she done snuck into Gigi's office, and she done got on Gigi's computer. She done called old boy. And they cut out, after that. They cut out after that, so you don't see the conversation. But I'm like, and she was so happy and so proud of herself that she got in touch with that little boy. Maxine sitting on the front row, and the head of the trustee board sitting on the front row, and And so when they make the announcement to the church, they're real dramatic about it. And he said, before y'all say to us, have you prayed? Yes, we prayed. Before you say to us, did we fight the good fight? Yes, we fought the good fight. But, sometimes people just change and things just change. They said, but don't worry, we're still, here for you. We're still here for each other. And, they give the good old speech, even though, and Lady Mae standing there looking like she could cut his ass with a razor, right? So he tells her that, she'll still be there for a day with Lady Mae. She said, I'll be your first lady through till a day with Lady Mae. And that's when they announced that Maxine is going to be the guest there. And, of course, and then she goes off on this tangent, honey, about women and how women are so powerful, and women are the backbone of the church, and the church would be nothing without women. Oh, she lays it on thick, right? Because she's setting it up. And she's letting everybody know that, women this and women that. And the bishop know what's up. He looking at her like, okay, that's your game plan. All right, then, cool. And when it was over with, Lady Mae's walking Maxine out to her car. And Maxine said something that was interesting to me, though. Remember, in the beginning, Maxine was like, you just go take Calvary. Calvary is there. Just go take Calvary. And she's helping her take Calvary. But I found interesting is Maxine said to her, and if this don't work, we'll just take those bricks and we'll just build us another one down the road. So I'm like, okay, Maxine, you might be thinking that this ain't as easy as you thought it was going to be. So church is over. Everybody's gossiping. Everybody got their opinion. Y'all know how it is. Well, yeah, I saw this coming. No, they didn't say nothing to me about, like, you know how people do. So everybody's gossiping. Everybody got an opinion. Old lady with the money talking about, what's her name, Cora, talking about as soon as I see Maxine at a day with Lady Mae, I'm gone. I can't be a member of a church where there's a divorced bishop. And everybody got their opinion. And then the head of the trustee board is talking about some, it's time for a change. Looking over at Gigi. Gigi like, I don't want nothing to do with this shit. Gigi ain't trying to have nothing to do with none of that. So Carissa done told Zora she can't come home. Because she went to Jacob, and Jacob was like, hell no. She's like, if Zora want to come home to me, my mother must be doing something right. Nope. We're not going to make it easy for her. Nope. And so that's when Zora says, well, don't worry about it. It'll be over soon. And I'm thinking to myself, Zora done got up with old boy and they done made another plan to run away. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know how they going to execute it. But they done made another plan and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm be honest with you. I was almost a little bit of afraid. The very last scene of the episode, Gigi is trying to talk to old girl, trying to talk to Sophia. And Sophia tells her she ain't going back to church. She doesn't believe in God anymore and that she's done. And of course, Gigi tries to talk her out of it, but at the same time, I think she knows that she has to sort of process this. So, old girl goes out and she goes walking out to the water. Now, for a split second, and thank God I was wrong, but for a split second, I was a little worried that there was going to be somebody that Zora was going to be in that water. It was so dramatic. But she ended up pulling off her chain that had the cross on it and throwing it into the water. And she's just done with God for right now. So we'll see what happens next week, y'all. This was a little long-winded. I apologize. I had to kind of pause and come back. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments, please.